Good. What is up, everybody? We are live once again. Thank you for taking the time to actually watch me. Put me on your screen. I am really appreciative of that. Yes, so CES is a wrap. Yeah, CES, it was an enjoyable time. I really did have a good time at CES. I really enjoyed everything that I saw there. Overall, this was probably one of the best experiences for me, and in terms of my time at the show, I really learned a lot. Some personal stuff, some growth as well. So it was a overall a good experience. Not only that, seeing some cool tech, that's always amazing. Us tech nerds that love that stuff. It was great to see some of that stuff up close and in person. Very exhausting, but not to the point where I never want to do it again. It's actually to the point where I'm exhausted at the end, but at the end of it, I'm like, okay, I can't wait to next year to do this again. But yeah, but it was a great time. I highly recommend, if you ever have the opportunity to attend a CES, definitely check it out. Do that if you can. Finagle your way. If you know somebody, got some connections, definitely try and get to CES. It is a mind blowing experience. Speaking of, not to segue too far off topic, but speaking of other experiences like this, like E3. Yeah, so I was able to actually go to E3 as well back in the mid 2000s when it was actually at its heyday. So that is also definitely a mind blowing experience as well for those of us that are gamers. Um, when it was back in its heyday, back in the mid 2000s. I think the first time I went to E3, I'm not going to stay too long on this topic, but I went there about 2004, 2005, or whatever. First time I went, it was like $250 just for general public to get in. The next year after that, they bumped it up to $500, which didn't make any sense. I think they were just trying to get rid of the general public, us, the people that actually pay the money to buy the game, to play the games, and then they pretty much scooted up after the worst after that because it made it a media only event, and then shortly after that, E3 was done. So I'm glad I at least got to experience that. Just to say that, if you ever had the chance to experience CES, I don't think CES is going to go that way. It won't, but definitely, it's not open to the general public. But again, if you know some people, definitely go check it out. I went with my cousin, I went with my buddy, so definitely is an experience that you want to check out. Cool thing about E3 that we all know, very quickly get off of this, the booth babes. We love the booth babes at E3. There was exciting. I got some pictures with some booth babes, of course. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I didn't. But yeah, booth babes was a big thing about E3. But very quickly, who had the hottest booth babes, even though they weren't scantily clad or in bikinis? This may surprise you. In my opinion, to me, it was Nintendo. Yes, Nintendo had the hottest boot babes from head to toe. They weren't scantily clad. They weren't running around with or everything showing. But to me, they were just, class. They were dressed very classy, and they just, looked good from head to toe. All right, back off of E3. Let's talk about CES, the event that was. So, week-long Vegas event. Great event. So basically, I'm just going to go through some of my experiences, go over a few of the booths, Hisense, Samsung, TCL. I'm going to touch on CC and then Sony. Not what you're expecting, what I'm going to talk about for Sony. But let's just go here. First off, let me share my screen with you guys real quick. Thought that was already sharing. 1 second. Where is it? But the first thing we're going to talk about is Hisense. And one of the cool things about Hisense this year was their main TV that they're showing off, the 110UX, which was 110 inches. That one. 110 inches mini LED. And it's both a lot of new tech. Yeah, so the 110UX, let me pull up that folder real quick so you can take a look at that footage that I have here. So this TV actually won a number of awards at the show, and it definitely deserved it because the TV in person is very, very bright. The pixel quality is very good. It definitely deserved all the the honors that it got because it was a phenomenal TV. Here we go. Mute it. You see that? Yeah, so just let that run while I'm talking about it. So the 110UX, this is the highlight of the show. Again, their main TV. So just quickly to run down what it was about. So this TV does come in both 4K and 8K. Obviously, the more impressive model will probably be the 8K, but the more practical model will be the 4K model. This TV is boasting about being the world's first, as you can see here, 40,000 local dimming zones. That is probably twice as much as probably the nearest competitor. So with that amount of local dimming zones, you're going to be able to get a great contrast in between your darks and your highs and your picture brightness. So much detail that within an inch or so, you're going to have just exquisite control over which pixels or which zones are actually going to light up or not be lit up, depending on what picture you're looking at right now. So what I'm showing here is just basically just raw footage from the show for that I captured. There's a lot of it's not going to be edited. It's just going to be just me walking around, grabbing footage of just different stuff. That way, I just wanted to show you what I've captured, what I've seen on the show for. This is just the back of the TV right here. So it does have built-in speakers. So we're talking about 4.2.2 actual speakers built in all around it. So, and I think there's a stand that comes with it. I'm gonna pause it right here. There's a stand that comes with it. That's optional. That doesn't come with it, but it's optional. That is optional at this point. We don't know what the pricing information about that will be, but definitely looking forward to see if that will come to the market and see what that is. So right here is what is powering the TV. Is there a high view engine X chip? So this is going to be responsible for all your processing, your picture quality and everything. It also has neural processing built into it. So we're talking about machine learning. So based on how you actually watch the TV or based on your viewing habits, it will continue to adapt and evolve the picture quality over time, so you can actually get the best picture quality possible as you continue to watch your television. So no two people are going to have the same probably viewing experience, whatever. It's going to be tailored towards you. So I guess if you're like a sports person, it's going to tailor the picture quality towards sports. If you're more of a cinematic person, more a movie person, then it's going to tailor that picture towards that. So that is an excellent thing about the high view engine X chip that they put in the TVs this year. And yeah, so give you unlimited customization for you specifically that you don't see a lot right now. Everything is just generally just more general. But again, that's with the whole AI thing that was the big push this year at the show, is that the AI is going to revolve around you and give you what you want. So again, 40,000 local dimming zones, unparalleled control. Not only that, we're talking about 10,000 nits of brightness. Super bright. Your colors and your picture quality are going to explode off the screen with this TV here. And the 110 is their biggest model, but they also have smaller models as well. I think they have a 98-inch as well that they're going to bring to the market as well, which will probably be more practical for most of us. It's still going to have the high view engine X in there. It's not going to have the same amount of local dimming zones or probably the nits, but it's going to be the same picture quality. Again, it's more practical for somebody who actually wants to own this TV. That will probably be the better route for most of us that are going to go that route, that are looking to get into a TV of this quality. And the thing about Hisense, this is from my personal experience, one of the earlier times when I did attend the show at CES, I walked through Hisense booth because I just wasn't that familiar with them. So I looked over at their booth, looked at some of their pictures, looked at some of their TVs. In my impression, I was not impressed at first with what I was seeing from them. That was a few years ago. But I think the last two times that I've been to the show, especially with their UX models, they've upped their game a lot. And this is very impressive. As you can see here, this 110 UX is garnering a lot of awards from a lot of different publications that show, and it is very well deserved. I mean, if you saw this in person, you would definitely be blown away by the picture quality and what they've been able to accomplish with this. I mean, it is a spectacular piece of equipment and accomplishment that Hisense has been able to do over the past couple of years. Again, they upped their game with their picture quality. Very impressive, and again, very well deserving of everything that they have been able to accomplish with this. Um, One of the things that I did not get a chance to go over in Hisense booth, but I was able to experience it. But I regret that I didn't get any footage. Was they were actually showing off 3D technology in their booth. So again, glasses free. So they had a display here on the wall. We probably were about less than 10 feet or so, within 10 feet away from the display. But the key thing was your viewing angles. I was able to probably go 10 to 15 feet, from the center, wide, for probably about 6 or 7 feet this way, 6 or 7 feet to the left and to the right, and was still able to see the 3D clear as day with no questions asked. So this was a prototype. I don't know what the plans are for bringing this to market, but it was definitely a great experience, and I'm hoping that they actually bring it to market. And there was a few other booths that had some 3D technology, what we're seeing without the glasses. I think Samsung did have something as well. I'll get into them in just a minute. But yeah, so Hisense, if you're not familiar with them, definitely check them out. I mean, they're definitely worth giving a look if you're interested in getting a higher end television, especially with the mini LED technology. So definitely check them out if you're in the market for a higher end TV and don't want to spend a ton of money on a set. Definitely check out Hisense. But overall, very impressed with what Hisense is doing, and I hope they continue to impress us. But yeah, so, and they also have other products as well. They have appliances. They showed off some projectors, laser projections, stuff that I don't really care about projectors too much. I know some people do, but they do have that whole full gambit, everything that you want. That they did have to have that to offer. So let's move on to what is next on the list. Let's talk about LG here. So the highlight of LG was obviously their transparent LED TV. So the OLED T. This thing is, again, how practical is it? We don't know. How expensive it will be? Yeah. You have to have some deep pockets. You have to rob from your savings in order to afford this. But it was very impressive to see this actually in person. So how this whole thing works is everything that you see right on the screen right here, the clear, what's right now is just a clear. All the components are the transistors, the resistors, everything is just a clear component for the most part. It's just clear as it can be. Now, in order to maintain and experience the full levels of OLED experience, the full blackness, there's a screen that actually raises from the bottom all the way up to the top. So that's going to give you that's going to allow you to go from transparent to opaque. You can see here, the screen is now lowering down. But yeah, so even with the screen down, just taking a look at the visuals, it is very impressive just to see those colors. And it's really a good experience. It gives you that kind of 3D hologram type of experience when you see it with the screen down, because the colors absolutely pop on this TV. It is definitely impressive. Definitely something that, if you can afford it, it would be something that you would definitely want to check out. Now, in terms of practicality, who is this for? So the way they describe this is, let's say, for instance, if you have a nice house, you want to put this in your bedroom or your living room, and you have a nice, landscape outside. You got the hills, you got the mountains, or you have the ocean or the beach or whatever that you want to take a look at. Instead of having a TV that can potentially block that view at all times, you can have this TV, at the end of your bed or against the wall. And when you want to actually bring in the landscape into your house, lower that opaque screen down and allow your visuals to actually shine through. You can see the back of the TV as you can see here. Also, think about it as just like if you want to do it in an aquarium or some type of art piece or whatever. This can be that centerpiece that you were looking for. Again, if you have the money, we don't know what the pricing of this is going to be or when it's going to be released. They'll probably release that information probably in the spring. Again, normally they don't announce that type of information at the show, but this will probably second half of this year more than likely, but we'll wait probably in the spring where they talk about this. But again, if you have deep pockets and you want a centerpiece, you want something that can be a discussion piece, this would definitely be that. And again, the visuals look very well. Again, I know how it will do in a full test, how it will handle gaming. Again, we don't know that until this is able to be tested. Now at the show, if you take a look at this, you don't really see any clear visuals as to where the sound is coming from. But according to what I've heard, this box down here does have downward firing speakers. So it looks like it will have sound built into. At the show there, they didn't have the sound bashing through here. They had them the TV connected to their LG Boom little remote speakers. That's where all the sound was coming from. Again, it is wireless, so it does wirelessly transmit all your information. Sound processing and video processing is done from their Zero Connect box, which they introduced in last year's wireless TV. So they brought that to this TV here. So very excited to see what this is going to be about once we're able to actually see it out in the wild and go and test it. But probably the second most impressive piece of TV tech at the show from LG. But yeah, but overall, LG's booth was it's typical from LG. I've always been impressed with how LG sets up everything. But going through their booth here, they always have their main display here, whatever that flagship piece is going to be. In this case here, it was their OLED T. So they start off with that. Again, this is just a booth tour that I did. There's a video of that. It's on my channel here. You can actually just go check that out. If you want to just get a tour through there as I kind of narrate through everything. Another cool thing that they showed off in their booth, which again is a concept, I'll get to it here, is their LG Able, which is their concept electric car. It will never come to market. I asked the guys about it. It's like, no, it's not coming to market. But the weird thing and the cool thing at the same time was their concierge service that they have in the car. So what that means is you can have something in the back of the car. Same as if you want to have a controller or a video game system, if you want to have a bottle of champagne or something, or whatever you want in the back of your car, push a button and it will bring it up through a drivetrain all the way to the front of the car for you so you can retrieve it. I will get to it in this video as I continue to walk through it, but again, it's just a concept. It will never come to market. The car looks pretty cool. They also, showed off some of their electric, charging stations, which obviously it will probably be bringing to market. What else? So another cool thing about LG, they showed off their smart home AI agent, which that little guy right there, it's pretty cool here. So they had a whole demo of him. Let me bring up some footage of that for you. Not there. Bear with me. But yeah, so the smart home AI agent is basically like a pet. Or it can actually be something that can babysit your pets for you. That was what they were touting. So as you can see, the guy right here, he's autonomous. He rolls on two wheels. He can. Oh, I see. Wesh is in the comment section. What is up? I didn't know you were on YouTube. What is going on? Let me know if you have any questions. Just, put them down in the chat. But yeah, this little smart home agent guy right here is pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a big fan of robots in the home, but this little guy here, I may actually want him. So in terms of release date information, again, there's no pricing, anything about it. It is coming to Korea first. They're big on robotics, but they do want to bring it to the United States. So there definitely is a plan to bring this to the United States. So and it is really cool how it works. You know, you can sense your mood, your emotions, and you can actually suggest different songs for you to try to help improve your mood. He can talk to you about the weather. You know, again, it's a pet sitter. So if the pet is running through your house and he say knocks over a plant or whatever, it can detect an anomaly in the house and then relay that information back to you. So how it works is you have to have a camera mounted in your room that can see the whole room and it monitors him, so he can relay that information back to you. So I did ask the rep, you know, obviously he can't navigate stairs. That's not what it was designed for. But let's say, for instance, if the cat goes upstairs, you know, and he knocks over something, or if he pisses or whatever, how is that going to work? Yes, it is obvious. It is internet connected. It's, you know, dealing with AI and everything. That right here, what you see on the screen is something else, a separate product. It's called their AI Voice Hub. So that you can talk to and then ask it all types of questions that connects with all your LG products. So how you would get around that situation of not allowing the smart home agents to go upstairs is you can just mount a camera up there, so it can then, you know, detect everything around the house. So if something happens upstairs, it can then relay that information back to your smart home agent, and it can then relay that information back to you. So even though he can't physically navigate upstairs, by having that camera mounted upstairs, he still can go up there. Yeah, I understand the hard pass on that. Yeah, that's the thing about it, is that it will be internet connected. The information will be out there. I trust me, I get it. I'm not so keen on that, but the little guy is just, he looks sweet. He looks cool. You know, he doesn't look as imposing as some other robots, and that's the tricky thing about it as well. You know, they want to try to bring you in with something that looks, you know, cute and harmless, but you know, it's still connected to the internet. I'm almost positive that he's going to take any data that he gets and then transmit it back to their local center or whatever. I don't know how that works. I didn't ask about that, but more than likely, and then it's going to be able to learn from it. So yeah, I get why somebody would not be interested in this. I mean, but I mean, just look at the guy though. He's adorable. He's cute. He's cute. You know, tell me you wouldn't mind him if he wasn't connected to the internet. You know, it would be something that, you know, you definitely would be interested in. But yeah, definitely. You know, something that's just to think about. I think I'm not sure if that microphone is always there. At the end of the demo, they brought out like three of them. He had one with different glasses on, whatever. And they did a little, of course, a little robot dance or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, it is something that you have to have the appetite for. Again, like I said, you can communicate with you. It can tell you how your day is going. If you have, what's your schedule like. It can also detect, again here, you know, voice analysis, sleep breathing tracker. So it can detect if you're not feeling well and suggest things that you need to do to get better. So again, I understand how it would be a hard pass for most people, but I mean, it's cool in itself. Just the technology behind it. You can see here, obviously they're gonna do their little dance here, but again, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see if I have pictures of LG Able. No, I don't have it right here, but yeah. So it's pretty interesting to turn off that display. Yeah, so overall, LG, they did show off some more stuff in terms of the LG Labs, where they were experimental type stuff. Yeah, so there is the LG Able. So this is their electric car concept right here. Again, never coming to market, no plans for it, you know. But it was pretty cool to see. So over to the LG Labs, where they showed off a coffee making machine called Duobo. Again, if you're into coffee, that may be something you would want to take a look at. Not my cup of tea, you know, a cup of coffee, whatever. I think this is it right here, Duobo. And this for me would be definitely be a hard pass, not something that I care about. But the cool thing that I did like was moving on here to the camping. They showed off a trailer, smart trailer. Again, I don't know if this is coming to market. Now, talk about camping. This was what we call glamping. This is definitely a way that I would definitely want to go camping. I mean, the trailer itself looks pretty sweet. Obviously, you can have your wardrobe and everything by here. your champagne and silverware right there. It also has a fireplace right here on the side. They're going to show up right here. I don't know if it kicks out any heat, but you know, cool. This right here is their called jukebox. It's just a jukebox that they showed up with the OLED screen. More LG stuff. Then they went on to sustainability and some hotel stuff. Again, a lot of stuff is, so that's their um micro LED screen. A lot of stuff is, this was the commercial section right here. A lot of commercial solutions that, again, not going to come to you or I, but for like for hotels or something like that, that would be what that would be more geared towards. No transparent display and a lot of sustainability. But again, you know, some AI stuff. That was that video there. So yeah, so that was overall everything about LG's booth. I'm like, again, I'm always impressed by what LG does in their booth and about what they bring to the market. OLED T, wonderful TV, not practical for most people. If you have deep pockets, yes. If you don't, you know, you want to go with something more like the LG C4 or the G4 series, which is more practical. The G4 does have the, what they call it, micro lens array. So if just very quick, OLED has a problem with brightness. And the way LG was able to solve that, it was by introducing new technology called micro lens array. So what they were able to do was capture the brightness that was escaping. So most of it would just reflect back on the panel. So what they did with MLA was allow it to project through the screen so the TVs can actually shine brighter. So by they line their lenses with like millions, I think the total screen will have like billions of different micro lenses that allows the light to actually shine through. So this is their way of solving the OLEDs not being as bright as, you know, something from Samsung or mini LED or micro LED. But yeah, so you want a practical TV, you want to go with the G4 or even the C4. C4 doesn't have MOLED, but there are going to be what LG saying there will be brighter this year as compared to in the previous year. So if you want to still go OLED route, LG is still a capable component of that. But as far as what I see or what I'm seeing as one of the best picture qualities is the Samsung, you know, quantum dot OLED TV. Now they did not have it at their booth this year. They mainly were focusing on AI. So as soon as you enter their booth, they talked about sustainability. All these big companies like to talk about sustainability and how they're conserving energy and protecting the environment. Fine and dandy, not my cup of tea. That's not why I go to CES to see that stuff. But a lot of people are impressed by this stuff, but that's not my cup of tea. Picture quality, I think everything is still good here. Okay. But yeah, so last year at Samsung's booth, they really focused heavily on smart things. So the big push was integrating Matter. So any device that is Matter compatible would be compatible with smart things. So that was one of the big things that they were pushing last year. This year they were going all in on AI, as their press conference was called AI for all or something like that, AI vision. So AI for all. So AI in terms of your regular everyday products, so like your refrigerator, your stove, your laundry stuff, all that stuff now has AI integrated into it. So let's quickly just go down the list. I do have a video. I mean, in here I will show it, but right here what I'm seeing is the Galaxy Book 4. So these books are launching later this month and will be available for you. Now they come in two different types. They have the Ultra, which is the Intel Ultra 7 or the Ultra 9, or you can go with the Pro model, which has the Ultra 5 chip in it. So if you want to do gaming, you want to go the Ultra route. Another cool thing about them this year is they introduced anti-glare technology on their notebooks this year. Last year's model had a big problem with glare, so they actually introduced anti-glare technology this year, and it does make a world difference. No quick funny story how I could see the glare difference. I have a bald head. I was able to look in there. I saw a shiny spot on the last year's model. This year's model, the shiny spot on the top of my bald head wasn't there as much. So that's you know, that's a physical test, a true world test that the anti-glare is real and it does work for Samsung. So yeah. And if you're part of the Samsung ecosystem and you want a notebook or a laptop that will work well with all your stuff, definitely want to take a look at what Samsung is offering, because you can obviously you can transfer, you can use your tablet as a second screen. Also, if you have a phone, you can just drag and drop files and photos and videos, just just using your laptop to one another. So it makes it very easy to just jump in and out of that system very easily. So back over to the appliance section, stuff that make your everyday life a little easier. Their home appliances now, like I said, have AI integrated into it right here. So in this laundry unit right here, it's one single unit, wash and dry. I believe from what the lady was telling me, it can wash and dry a load within 2 hours. You shove the clothes in there and it'll take care of the rest for you. So that 7-inch screen right there, again, if you have like anything that's Matter enabled or Smart Things enabled, you can interact with that. So if you're in the laundry room and you're taking and somebody calls you and you don't have your phone with you, you can actually take that phone call right from there. Or if somebody is at your Ring doorbell and they're at their door, you can actually interact with that right from your screen as well. The same thing with the stove they introduced this year. Same thing, 7-inch screen. You can interact with anything that's smart or Matter enabled. You can't do everything that you want, but if you could take a phone call, you can actually, I believe on the stove, you can actually watch TV or a game on the stove if you want to. While you're there cooking, you can still have access to it. Incorporating AI again. So with their bespoke refrigerator that will probably be showing next, you can send recipes from your refrigerator to your stove if you want to, and you can have your recipe for you. So let's talk about the refrigerator right here. So the new thing about this one is their AI Vision Plus that they incorporated this year. So what happens is if you take and remove or put items in and out of your refrigerator, it will give you an updated view on your screen right there outside to tell you what you have in and out of what's in your refrigerator. So as you actually put stuff in the refrigerator or take stuff out of the refrigerator, it gives you an updated snapshot of what's in the refrigerator. And what that is used for is, if you want recipes or if you're at the grocery store and you want to see what you have, then you can actually, and see that right from your phone as well, based on everything that's going on in there. And you also type in information such as what's the expiry date of stuff, so it can then give you alerts that something that you have or your milk is about to expire. That way you can either drink it or throw it out or buy something new. So that was the refrigerator. What we just saw right here was the AI integration into, again, your clean, your bespoke jet. So this unit right here cleans. It does dry and wet. Right from the unit right there, it'll automatically take in new clean water and it'll actually dump out the old water. Then once it gets full, it'll let you know, you take that out and just dump it to the sink or whatever. And the vacuum cleaner that will be showing off here, the push broom, has AI in there where it detect what type of surface that you're using, and it will automatically adjust the suction power as well as let you know the battery life according to whatever current situation that you're in right now. So again, so this was everything that they have with the AI that they're making a big push this year. So move up to their gaming. Oh, so micro LED. So this, when Samsung first introduced it, was called the Wall. This was their huge 292-inch micro LED screen that they showed off. So they keep showing it at the show, and it's keep getting smaller and smaller. It's getting more and more accessible for the average consumer. It's not quite there yet. Again, the idea behind micro LED will probably be the next holy grail for televisions. It has insane amount of brightness, insane amount of diodes on there. So you have your regular LCD, then you have your LED, your mini LEDs were smaller than that. Then you have your micro LED, which is probably 1/40th the size of your mini LED. So just imagine that many diodes on your screen. Also obviously this will improve your picture quality as well as your dimming zone. So again, unparalleled control over your contrast in your picture quality. That right there was just showing off the manufacturing process of the micro LED. Again, still not ready for mainstream consumption just yet. Another thing that they showed off was transparent micro LED. Again, this is more so for commercial uses, for signage or whatever, not going to be available to the public. It looked cool. The colors were actually very phenomenal. They popped very well. Again, for commercial uses, not for your average day use just yet. It's just more of a concept right now. Showed off a lot of game experience. And the cool thing about this whole gaming thing was they showed off a 3D monitor. Again, glasses free. I'll get to that eventually. So in the demo, I just sat down. I was able to, sit down there, pick up a controller, and see everything with the 3D without glasses. And it also had what they call a head tracking in there. So as I moved my head from side to side, it maintained that picture for me. So I wasn't losing that 3D experience as I, move side to side. So it looked very cool. It's something that I didn't ask about a release date or anything, but it looked pretty cool. I do wonder when it's going to come to market. More likely this will be coming to market. I just don't know when. Again, very impressive. Looked really cool. Very practical as well. Just depending on how much that will cost. But very, very obtainable technology from Samsung here. Again, I talked about this a little bit earlier. The 3D technology, we've seen a lot of people starting to do glasses-free technology, glasses-free 3D. So I'm just looking forward to that to be more and more and push into the mainstream, into the general public. Because no one wants to watch any type of content or play any type of content with glasses on. It's annoying and it gets in the way of the whole experience right here. And this was just Bali. I didn't get a chance to catch Bali. It's their little robot droid as well. But overall, again, Samsung, I think this year's was better than last year in terms of what they were showing off. Smart things, AI integration, AI vision for all, the bespoke refrigerator. So as you get older and you own your own house, that type of stuff starts to become more exciting to somebody like me. I would love to have the big screen right on my television where I can just control different, devices and objects right from the television screens. That's why they call it the family hub. It can be the hub for everything that's going on in your house. Well, but so that was Samsung. All right, let's move on to TCL. So TCL is one of those companies that if you're not familiar with, they have come a long way and they offer very affordable, higher end televisions for you. So this year they're pushing their QD mini LED technology. Basically what that is, it's just a branding thing in terms of QD mini LED. This just signifies that this will be their more premium models of their mini LED of their TVs. They still will have mini LED TVs, but if you see the QD mini LED, this is their premium models where they stepped up a lot of the technology in these TVs from the previous year. I first discovered TCL like a few years ago. I just happened to like walk into their booth and I was actually blown away by the picture quality that they had in their sets. Their colors, the brightness, everything just was popping off the screen with TCL. And if you didn't know that, they were one of the first ones to actually introduce mini LED into the market. So they're definitely a pioneer in this space. And like I said, they've done a great job over the years. So the flagship TV for them this year is the 115-inch TV. I think the model number you can see right there. It's a 115 QM891G. This will, again, if you have deep pockets, is this something that you want? Then that's going to be the model you want. But they also have smaller models like 98 inches. Well, that's a little bit more practical for you, and a little bit easier on your pockets. So a couple things about the 115 inch. So it does have what we 5,000 nits. So that's half the nits of what the Hisense TV was doing. But most TVs nowadays are what maxed out at like 4,000 nits maybe. Still 5,000 nit goes above and beyond what you have today. Again, incredible brightness if you see this in person. They also have boasting about the 20,000 local demi zones. Again, above and beyond what we have today compared to to most things. So what you're seeing right here on the screen is they're showed off their progression of their mini LED technology in terms of their local dimming zone. So they progressed over the years and they've made their optics better. So in this year's model, each different light or diode that you're seeing here has what they call 6 different levels of brightness. So what that means is instead of just being on or off, in the previous year they had on or off basically, this year is 6 different levels of brightness. So that's going to obviously offer much more precise and much more control over what areas you want to dim or brighten based on whatever you're watching, based on the picture on the scene, right? What you're looking at. Again, looks very good compared to what I've seen out there. And if you didn't know, TCL does offer their product at a more affordable price compared to, offerings from Sony or Samsung. So definitely something, if you want a great TV at an affordable price, definitely want to check out Hisense and give them a look. But continuing with TCL, the rest of their booth, they showed off their QD mini LED monitors. They had a whole gaming section for you. QD LED monitors look great. They were showing off Call of Duty on the monitors, look good. They also had an NFL fan experience where you could meet, talk to other people, talk to people from the NFL. They had Brian Bosworth, Charles Woodson, that school up north. I can't say the name. And then they had Charissa Thompson, who showed up at the show. But you could go and talk to them if you wanted to, ask them some questions, take a picture with them, and that was pretty much it. They also, again, as with all the other big ones, they showed off their home appliances, sustainability. Again, if you're into that type of stuff, they had that for you. They showed off what the processor is behind them and what's the actual technologies. Again, AI as well is going to be in there, as you can expect with all of the major manufacturers. The AI, it was the big push this year, using AI to actually to learn what you're watching and how to make that picture quality better for you. Sometimes even right on the fly. So very impressive tech. Again, micro LED, not ready for mainstream consumption. I've seen this TV a few years. You're just waiting for the price and for the smaller panels to come down in price. So if you didn't know about micro LED, you put these together by different panels and you can customize the size however you want. So that's how that works. But overall, TCL again is a very impressive company. If you're in the market for an affordable TV and you don't want to spend a bunch of money, check them out. You will not be disappointed. They are very impressive with what they're doing. All right, so that covers TCL. Let's talk about some gaming a little bit, just a little bit. MSI. So I was able to take a look at MSI. Went over to their booth. Oops, that didn't work. 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, so the claw. Let's talk about the claw. Claw was very impressive. So it's their handheld from MSI. It is definitely a competitor to the Steam Deck, INO, the Asus ROG. Definitely so this shocked a lot of people when it first was talked or leaked right before the show. And being that this is their first attempt at a handheld, it definitely did not feel, look, or seem like something that is new. In fact, it felt like a well-crafted, well-engineered piece of hardware. You can actually see MSI's experience and DNA written all over everything about it. So the unique thing about this that is very shocking to a lot of people is that they decided to go with Intel as for their graphics card. So they went with the Intel Arc graphics card for this. It also has the Intel Ultra 7 chip as well. Most people go with AMD in these handhelds. All the other ones are going with AMD. So this was really a surprise for most people that they went with the Intel Arc graphics card. And based on some earlier performance numbers from some other people that I've seen, it performs pretty well. The only thing that they were showing off was an Assassin's Creed game. Ran well, there was no problems with it, but the hardware itself looks pretty good. It has pretty much everything that you're looking for. The ergonomics of it, it feels really good in your hand, felt pretty light in your hand. I think it's probably slightly heavier than the Asus ROG, but by some grams. Not anything particularly crazy, but it's definitely something that if you're looking for a handheld and you're looking for options, definitely you want to check out the MSI Claw. Now, according to a rep that I talked to at the show, they're saying that they're looking for a mid-March release date, but a rep actually told me, again, this is the rep. This is not me just making this up. The rep said that they were looking for March 21st for this to come out to the United States. So definitely looking forward to that and when that will come out. So again, it looks very impressive. It felt really good in my hands. I love the RGB around the joysticks. The buttons also have colors as well, so very impressive. Again, I'm actually looking to a handset or gaming system. This is definitely a comparator. It's either this or the Asus ROG. So I'm not quite sure which one I want to go with yet. But like I said, you can have all your different platforms. You have your Xbox, you have your GeForce, Amazon. So all that, so all your major platforms, you can still game from it. Again, it's a comparator to the Steam Deck and Asus ROG. Definitely want to check it out. Check it out if you're into that. Also, we got to look at the new NVIDIA cards from the 40 Super Series. So this is MSI's different offerings. I didn't get a release date for those. I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember what the release date for these would be, but they offer like 4 different types of series. They offer like a gaming X, they offer Slim, they offer Ventus, they offer an Expert one. So depending on what you're looking for, they even offer a model that's more like budget friendly. If you don't need all the bells and whistles, they have that option for you covered as well. So they come in the 4070 Super, 4070 Ti Super, and then the 4080 Super. So depending on what you want, and the prices are pretty decent. Well, I believe the 4080 will go for $999. The 4070, I believe, is like $599. I think the 4070 Ti may be like $649 or something like that. But don't quote me on that. But yeah, so definitely a number of options for you. And the big thing about these is that this should have been what NVIDIA released originally for the 40 series. A lot of people were not impressed with the 40 series cards. The performance to price compared to what you get with the 3000 series, the 40 series wasn't what it should have been. With the 40 Super, I think they corrected that, and it does offer a bump up in performance as well, and not that much of a price difference. For the most part, you're on par with what the 40 series costs. So I've been holding out to upgrade my GPU. I have an older GPU. I don't really do too much gaming on my PC, but I would definitely like to start doing some more. The 4070 Super may be the card that I'm actually looking forward to getting. But yeah, definitely, impressed by these cards. Looking forward to when they will actually come out. Again, if you're looking for to upgrade, they have some options for you. Especially if you don't want to spend, $2,000 on a 4090. It's just hard to justify spending $2,000 price to performance to spending that much money on a graphics card is insane. Unless price is not a thing for you, then sure, go with the 4090. But you want something that's a little bit more feasible, definitely you want to check out the 4070 Super cards here. Again, here they have that. Some of the series come, I think the gaming ones come in white and black. So whatever options you want, they have those for you. So yeah, so definitely glad that I was able to get my hands on these cards and the Claw, which again, the gaming device from MSI, which shocked everybody. Definitely impressive. Definitely looking forward to when that is coming out. So what is next for me. I think I want to talk about CSeed. Let me know if you have any questions down there. See what I do my best to answer them. Yeah, CSeed. So let's talk about CSeed real quick. So CSeed is a company that manufactures and makes some TVs that are geared towards the Uber people. So give you a quick note of who this is for. They install these in yachts. Okay, so they have a IP65 rated TV for if you want to put them outside. So again, if you have a yacht, this is your market for you. The unfolding TV here. So again, very impressive. 137-inch 4K TV. So one of these things, the 137-inch indoor TV retails for about $200,000. You can see here the TV unfolding. $200,000. If you can afford that, install it in your yacht, you're pretty good to go. So IP65 rated. Was able to take a look at it at the booth. Looks very impressive in person. Very impressed by it. Again, it's not in my wheelhouse. I won't be able to afford it. They also have an indoor model as well, which is 137. The indoor model costs 100. The indoor model, which is not IP65 rated, costs $200,000. The outdoor model, which is IP65 rated, costs $240,000. So, very impressed by this. They've been around for the past 10 years, I believe. No, not 10 years. So they've been around for a few years. The only one that's doing something like this. The price that I mentioned does include everything. Installation, setup. So you're all good to go with that price. So again, so every year there's always one of these TV manufacturers that shows something that just, that's a little bit different. Last year it was Displaced TV. And if you're not familiar with Displaced TV, they are a true wireless TV. Now, last year LG, released their OLED M, which was wireless, but the TV still had an actual power cord that you had to plug into the wall. Displaced TV has no power cords whatsoever. They do have a zero connect. It's not called zero connect, but they have a wireless box that transmits everything to the TV. But their power source are batteries that you put into the TV that gives it its power. Another cool thing about Displaced TV is that it sucks itself to the wall. So that's how it adheres to the wall. So you don't need to do any screws or anything. It actually sucks itself to the wall and it sticks there to the wall. One of the things that they introduced within the last year about the Displaced TVs was when it detects that the battery is getting low, the TV will not just fall off the wall. The TV will slowly and gracefully work its way down the wall, and then it will gracefully lower itself down to the floor. So give you an idea of who this is for. If you have a winter or summer home and you've not been there for 5 or 6 months, and then the battery's about to die, the TV will not just fall off the wall. It will just let itself down slowly and then lower itself down to the TV. And they're not that expensive either. So they're hoping to release this year. I think second half of this year. So I think they're taking pre-orders right now. So if you want to know more about Displaced, you can go to their website and check that out, or check out their YouTube channel. But last year they were the ones that impressed me. This year it was the folding TV from CSeed. So again, I was very impressed by what they were able to show off. And one more topic I want to discuss is Sony. Sony. Why the hell is Sony even at CES? So CES stands for Consumer Electronics Show. What Sony show off at their show is not consumer related. Let me pull up my video of Sony. If I can do that for you real quick. I think, bear with me, I'm trying to find it. I had it open. But Sony didn't. So last year, Sony opted not to show anything, no TVs. So they decided to just do a separate event. And I don't know why they would even show up to the show if they weren't going to bring something to the market that we could see. And so they decided to do the same thing this year, and they didn't want to bring any TVs. I guess they felt that they were too good for anybody, and that was not something they want to do. So they have a separate event that they show, where they show the TVs. So they opted to do the same thing this year. So here we go. So they opted to do the same thing this year. So we're taking a walk through their booth right here. The first section that you come into is over here to the left. They talk about the cinematic, for filmers, for filming. This is not consumer grade products right here. This is for interprofessional people. And then they have the nerve to show off a camera over here, right there, that you see right here, where they're showing off how the technology behind the camera. That camera is not for the average consumer. It is not geared towards. It's geared at filmmakers and production people. Again, then they showed off their PlayStation 5. Fine, they want to get fans engaged at the show. They have their PlayStation set up. But we know what the PlayStation 5 is. We've already seen it. We don't need to see more of it. But I guess they wanted to have more people at the show. Then they also showed off their PlayStation VR 2. Again, it's already out. We know what it's like. Yeah, I guess they wanted to show off something. They didn't show off anything new. Other than that, that was pretty much it from Sony. There was nothing else from Sony at the show. It was a waste of space, waste of time, and the booth was not even a car. This was actually the best part about Sony, was they actually had a place where people could sit down. So if you wanted to take a load off, you actually go over there and sit down. That was the best thing about Sony from their show. Everything else was just a waste of time. It was pointless for Sony to be there. I just don't know why they even bothered to show up, because it made no sense. Nothing other than showing off the PlayStation and the VR2. There was nothing that was consumer facing in their booth. So again, they're not showing off any TVs. They were doing separate events to show that off. It was just a waste of time, waste of opportunity, waste of money. If you're familiar with Sony, they do have an electric car that they are coming out with. They are partnered with Honda Mobility. That did have its separate booth. Again, we've already seen that for years. Again, it does look cool. It does look nice. That's probably all they should have showed at the show. They shouldn't have had this whole booth right here. You see, it wasn't even that crowded at Sony's booth. Very disappointed about what they're showing. And I don't know why they think that they can just show up here, show something that's not even consumer facing. I think they're just too arrogant and think that they can just get away with that. Yeah, I'm not a Sony hater, but I just think that this just drives into their overall TVs that cost an arm and a leg more than other manufacturers, where you can get the same performance, if not better performance, at a much cheaper price. So Sony's arrogance is starting to show. Again, they did this last year. They didn't show off any TVs. And if I think back to a few years, they tend to do this. They're not showing much in terms of TVs. And TVs that they do show, they were showing off their XVR series. They were more professional grade TVs. Then they finally decided to bring in some consumer or customer facing TVs a little bit later, to the show. But so they will have an event later off to show off these TVs. So yeah, I'm just disappointed by Sony, and again, their arrogance of not showing anything at the show. It's just astounding. I don't know why they show up at the show. They could just keep that to themselves and just be done with it. It's just a waste. But that was my recap of what I saw at CES. Again, it was a phenomenal event. I had a great time. I enjoyed it. Like I said, met some people, talked to a bunch of different people, learned a lot. It was a great experience. Can't wait for next year, to see what's new. So if you like to see more CES stuff, get caught up on CES news. Again, you can check out my YouTube. Check out this channel right here. I have a link to the playlist right here where you can see all the CES videos, as well as a link to the website where I curated a lot of CES news as well. So even though CES is over, there's still a lot of news that you can actually catch up on and read about, and just to get up to date with all of that. Again, if you want even more tech news that's necessarily not CES related, you can head over to the website, soundstory.com, here where I cover where I curate and aggregate tech news covering Apple, Samsung, Google, Android, computing, and even more tech news, all at the website sound30.com. Once again, thank you for taking time out. Once again, thank you for taking time out to watch this video. If you are new to the channel, do me that huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and share this out with anybody who is interested in this type of content. Yeah, until the next video, guys, stay nerdy.